Hey, it's your boy Leaking His Glow. So listen. So today, I was watching a Caleb Hammer video, right? And in the video, you know, that guy, it's the most good old financial audit video. I got it on my TV, and I wanted to give some people some tips on credit, so we can go over that. I got two books here: the Truth of Lending Act, sorry, and the Fair Credit Reporting Act. These are the acts that they use or based off of basically based off of like credit and how banks can give out credit. This is the principles. They gotta follow these pretty much these acts or to give out credit and whatnot. I'm gonna go over a couple things in these books, so I'm gonna give it to y'all as a whole. So hopefully somebody learn from this and take this and yeah, because a guy was like in the video. The reason why I'm making this video today is in the video he was like he spent on his credit card and was like yeah, well that's money that I had to spend. I felt like that was wrong, so I'm just making a video because of that. Anyways, so what the Truth of Lending Act qualifies as credit. The term credit means my fault. The sorry, the term credit means to grant the right by a creditor to a debtor or debitor to defer payment of debt or to incur debt um and defer its payments. So basically someone it could be me and you, right? So say I being the creditor and you being the debtor, say hey, I can give you credit. The credit being, hey, I give you this, or basically pretty much like a loan. I give you this and say, hey, you use this, and I can defer the payments for later on. All credit is at the base. This is what credit is in this book in this act. We talking about a real life law, pretty much like a real life law. Um, Also in this book, if you end up getting this book, getting another book, getting this one, and there's also a third one in this whole series too. Um, you also have to understand what the difference is in the three words may, shall, and may not, because they're not the way we use them. They're all differently. So the word may is used to indicate that there's an action either is authorized and or is permitted. So it's a green light. Like hey, you're good. You're good to go. The word shall means is used to indicate that the action is both authorized and required. So it must happen. So a shall is more like a must. Like you got to do this, and there's no wishy washy. And then it may not is obviously what it entails. It's used to indicate that the action is both unauthorized and forbidden. So that's what it means. So, um, let's go down to where it says, "What is a creditor?" I feel like a creditor. So we're gonna define what a creditor is, and what creditors and what is a consumer. Because in the book, it can refer to people as consumers. So yeah, so let's do that. All right, so we're gonna start with the with creditor. Creditor, it says the term refers to the only to a person who it regularly extends, whether it is in connection to a loan, a sale, or of property or services, or otherwise consumes credit, or otherwise consumer credit, which is payable by agreement in more than four installments, of which payments of financial charges is or may be required. So I want y'all to understand something, right? When we sit down and we talk about, what is credit, what's all that, the definitions really do mean something. So when it was I believe there was like it was like those pages that they posted stuff going on, and it actually updated, and it was like, hey, those all those Klarna Afterpay, all these things, now they start reporting to your credit. And the reason why they report to your credit is because in the end of that statement, I said what? I said which consumer credit, which is payable by the agreement in more than 4 installments, or which the payment of financial charge is or may be required. So it gotta be more than 4 installments at the end of the day. Like you gotta have more than 4 payments of installments. Right. Also, there's a couple definitions. This is the second definition. The second one is a creditor refers to the person who is both and then this is who is in the person who or whom the debt arises from. The consumer credit transaction is initially payable on the face of the evidence of indebtedness, or if there is no such evidence of indebtedness by agreement. Now, notwithstanding the proceedings, since the case of an open credit line or open credit plan involving a credit card. That's a lot of mumbo jumbo, pretty much. But pretty much all this saying. So it basically broke down like, if you got like more of like a loan, and then it separated a loan from a credit card, because a credit card, it doesn't close. Basically, like the end of it is the closing date. So um say like a car loan. Say I got a credit card. Once you have your credit card, it's always open. You don't ever usually never close unless you either close the account or you close the line down or the bank closes the line down. But one of the parties have to close the line down. With a loan, once it's paid off, it's paid off. Once you pay off the interest, once you pay all the principal off, it's paid off. That's it. So that's when they say who's the creditor and referring to this article, it's basically saying, hey, this is who is the creditor. This is who they're gonna break everybody down. But in this it's that one definition define who is a creditor. Now we're going down to consumer. The consumer is an adjective is used in reference to a credit transaction. Characterizes the transaction as in which the party to whom credit is offered or extended is a natural person, and money, property, or service which are the subject of the transaction are primarily for personal, family, or household purposes. All right. So with that being said, what we break it down here is I want y'all to notice a couple things, right? One, when it said a couple things. It said one, it specifically said once the person is only a natural person. Like it's really weird. They break it down in the law, in these law books. It's weird if you ever read them. You notice that it defines people and like entities as different things. So you can be, hey, this is really weird, and a business is considered an entity, or it's considered an entity, right? But in the law, it would literally identify a person as your natural person. You would never be considered your own thing. So that's why in a lot of cases, like when you're dealing with the government, hey, they ask you for your identity number. You ask for your license. Even your license, your name is all capitalized, which you don't ever write your name in capitalized or capitalized later in letters. Your name is capital M or capital letter first, then a lowercase after that. But in all your government IDs, everything's capitalized. When your natural person referring to your person, that is capital letter, lowercase. That's which is you are, which is my human. It's weird. It's a weird concept. It's a crazy concept to understand. But in the book, that's what they're expressing. They're saying that only a human could go out and get credit. You can't give credit to a dog. You can't give credit to a cat or something like that. Only just human and a natural person. You can't just, unless you're going to get credit for a business or something like that, then that's different. It's just totally different assets. Those totally different assets. You're talking about personal credit. But it can be offered to it's characterized as a natural person, and it's used for its money, the property, and or service, and it's primarily for personal, family, and household purposes. Pretty much is all it is. So I'm gonna get on to a couple other things I'm gonna hit on this video. Also, remember that I am not a financial advisor. I'm just reading from this book and possibly from this book today. So I'm not a financial advisor. You probably should not take any advice from me. I'm just spreading education for anyone who was willing to listen to me and listen from this book. And this is just I got the book from Amazon, so y'all know. Also, yeah. Also, you have what is called adequate notice, right? So same thing with bills, right? Where you have where you get a couple, like say I had a surgery, right, and I need to go and you know the hospital bills me and they send me notices, couple notices before they have to send me to collections. It's the same thing with credit cards. In order for them to send me to collections or put derogatory marks on my what they consider derogatory mark by the bureaus, they have to give you adequate notice. Adequate notice in this title, on Title 1643 of this title, means a printed notice to the cardholder, which sets forth a precedent on facts clearly and conspicuously that a person against whom is to operate could reasonably be expected to have noticed it and understood its meaning. So they have to actually it has to be reasonable that you actually got the mail or got the notice, and it has to be understood or legible and understood or understandable. Sorry, I can't understood. Understandable, so you can read it yourself and understand like what it's saying. Such notice may be given to the cardholder by printing the notice on any credit card or on each periodic statement account issued by the cardholder, or by any means reasonably assuring the receipt thereof by the cardholder. So it could be anything really wants. It could be a statement. It could be like I said, a notice from earlier. It could be an email. Anything kind of noticing you. They have to give you adequate notice of what is going on with your account. They can't just cut you off. There's no cutting you off in American banking. Like there's not. The law protects from it. This act protects from this. Truth in Lending Act protects from it. This act, right? I'm gonna make sure y'all get the whole act. This act protects from it. So yeah. All right, here we go. We have another one. It's called another term. It's called cosigner, right? The term, yes, three definitions for the term cosigner, right? And I'm gonna go through all three of them, and I think the first term is gonna y'all should understand it, but I ain't gonna go all three of them. The first one, it says a cosigner means any individual who is liable for the obligation of another without compensation, regardless of how designated in any contract or instrument with respects to that obligation. Other than an obligation under a private education loan extended to a consolidate consumer pre-existing private education loan. So I guess you can't use it on like education loans, especially like private ones. But other than that, I think you can co-sign on those. Including any person who then to say this is the second one. Sorry, y'all. Includes any person the signature of which is requested as a condition to grant credit or forbear on collection. So that's probably the more basic one. That kind of sums up what A meant. And then C, which is does not include a spouse or individual described in paragraph A, and in a subparagraph, and then the signature of whom is needed to perfect perfect the security interest loan of the loan. So pretty much what a cosigner is basically someone who takes on the obligation of a loan if the original signer or the first person who takes on the loan does not pay the loan does not fulfill their loan responsibilities. So say if I had a kid and I wanted to go to Navy Federal, say, hey, I want to get a new car loan. I buy it's brand new GTR, right? I want to buy a whole brand new GTR, right? Say it's like 65,000, right? If I'm getting it for my son, if my son does not pay off that car, and I put my signature on that contract saying, hey, I'll pay off this car if he doesn't pay off this car, I have to pay off that car now without having no car. It's not my car. It's just I have to pay the car off. Understand what you're doing when you actually do stuff in there. And this is another thing is also understand like, hey, you just if you especially if you're starting up in life, push to build your credit, push to build your stuff up. So um make sure you understand what it is you're doing. Like if you need a cosigner, you probably need to put in more time to get your own credit right. Or if you need a car right now, all right, you probably need to get a cash car. Like that's just what you need to do. You need to wait a little more, get a little cash car. Probably don't even be using credit right now. But a cosigner, that's why I say don't ever cosign for nobody because you taking on extra responsibility to give somebody else a gift. It don't make sense. But yeah. Also, um, there's a term called there's a term in here called a gift. The weird to say it, but the law defines what a gift is, and like a gift is um any gratuity, favor, discount, entertainment, hospitality, a loan, or any item having more than a diminished monetary value, including services, transportation, lodging, or meals, whether you provided provided in any kind by purchasing of a ticket, payment in advance, or reimbursement after the expense has been incurred. It includes items described in the clause and provided a family provided to a family member of an officer, employee, yada yada yada. So pretty much that's what it's weird because I don't know if I remember, but it's a movie called the Safety by I think by Disney. It was made years ago. But in the movie, it's a meme too. It's a meme. If you go back, it's a meme. And I forgot what he said, but it was I forgot what the meme, but it was a meme. It's an old meme, anyways. Um, but yeah, they they couldn't take any gifts, and they were like they were kind of, and then the little boy didn't understand what a gift was. He was like, okay, they just not giving me no gifts, like, and he wanted to take a drink, or he wanted to eat a Snicker, and his bigger brother, who was a safety in at Clemson, he smacked it out of his hand. He didn't know what a gift was. That's what a gift is. A gift is anything. A gift is pretty much anything that has a gain in monetary value that you're consuming, like what you're taking in that you can use for a service or whatnot. So a gift is literally anything I just read off there. But yeah, but I guess that's my little video on credit. And if y'all want to see on the video, y'all let me know. But that's just my little rundown of what this book specifically says about credit. If y'all want to have me go down this book, I'll go down this book. It's a fairly simple book. I also got another book down there. That's the Equal Credit Act book. And that book doesn't have a lot in it, but it does have some good stuff in it. Um Fairly about, the history and whatnot. But yeah, it's about leaking this glow. And I just talk about, what I'm saying, growing and learning more. And yeah, I see y'all boys later. I'm out. Peace.